While dual-wielding was particularly fun, it's not exactly the best strategy in this game. And even more so once we head through that fog gate and come upon the town proper. We're about to experience a lot of very cramped quarters. So having that very large radius horizontal swing with the large sword of moonlight in the left hand isn't going to serve us well. And what I didn't realize at the time was that pretty much none of the large sword of moonlight's attacks are great fits for cramped quarters. And first things first, well, the first thing I did was screw up, falling off. You do not want to fall off of the scaffolding here, because you'll have to run back to this area to get back in. No matter how much the game tempts you with items on corpses in the middle of the swamp, it's just about never worth it, because they're usually just healing items. There's that long swing that's more than likely going to get us into trouble. Now, in this area, the game has to render the enemies, and you, and the lights, and the flies, and the rain, all at once. So you should also be prepared for any bizarre graphical anomalies. So far, everything's going fairly well, other than during the actual gameplay the frame rate was a bit slow. Obviously it's adjusted for the video. One of the things that confuses me a lot when I go through this area is the little candles that are in these tiny shacks. They look an awful lot like items from far away, much like the glowing flowers in Darkroot Basin. And it's especially devious because, sometimes there are items hanging around. One thing that is unmistakable, though, is the purple glow around those poison, magician depraved ones. They still must be eliminated as fast as possible, because you really aren't going to find any respite from their attacks in the town. Rotten arrows cause plague, I believe. But, not plague. Yes, plague. I keep getting all my terms mixed up, playing too many of these games. But yeah, rotten arrows, I believe, cause plague, and if they don't do that, then they cause poison. Either way, not particularly useful for me, as I'm probably not even strong enough to wield a decent bow. Not even two-handed. But that giant honkin' sword is no problem at all, because all you need is to believe really, really hard that you can sling it over your shoulder and not even care. And actually, looking at it again, there seems to be just enough space to swing the sword in most areas. Gotta wonder if perhaps that's because From Software was nice enough to want you to actually use the thing that you just got. The ambushes also come kind of fast and furious. Most of those guys are from upper levels dropping down onto you, and the rest are just kind of hiding out in the huts where they're difficult to see. I'd also note that the flies are already surrounding that guy. I'm not sure if that's if that actually means something gameplay-wise. Like if those guys keep attacking you, you'll get poisoned or plagued. I suspect it is, but it also could just be a sign of the boss to come, who's rather based around flies. That guy's just waving to us. Another thing about this is that it's a really... the corridors are tight and everything looks pretty much the same when you're in the darkness. And it's really easy to get lost. Or turned around or backwards. This is the way forward, though. Now that platform down there, that's a secondary area. Now that we've gotten this far, that's where we're going to need to get back to if we fall off. Or if we jump off. Both happen. Really gotta wonder about those clouds of flies. And of course, the incredibly sturdy construction is entirely flame resistant, which does not bode well for throwing fireballs at them. I don't think I can hit this guy. I really want to, because otherwise he's going to start spewing poison clouds, but I'm pretty sure the fireball will just clank off the wood. Somehow, despite barely putting any points into endurance, I have enough stamina to do things like that. 4 attacks out of a sword that big is pretty good. Alright, so I've had enough of the gargantuan swings, and I'm also looking to get my MP to start regenerating, as I have very few spices left. So that's going to mandate a switch back to the Falchion for now. Up here there are 2 paths to take, and some treasure to find. One path goes to the boss, and the other path will go to the shortcut back to start. But the first thing I'm going to do is get treasure. Sadly, the treasure really isn't all that great. Still, souls are souls. And that was dumb. Okay. Eliminating the return trip, I finally realized where the actual passage was. It's very well disguised by the shadows, but this is the first path, and it heads back to the start. I am not going down there. That is definitely a trap. Not going to do anything that crazy, because I'm honestly sick of this level at this point. Which is also why I'm going back to open up the shortcut, because there's no way I'm trudging through the first half of it again. Those lights you see out in the distance, I believe those are all stones of ephemeral eyes, and that island has a lot of very unpleasant enemies on it. It is not a good place to go. Definitely not worth it, in my opinion. And I think if you go down there without clearing out the flies up here, they will join in the party. I'm not sure what that guy thought he was doing. He might have actually thrown a knife. And it's just impossible to see with all the different effects going on screen. This is one of those tricky things. You might not think that you can do anything with that ledge, but it's one of the ledges in the game that you can climb up, and there's just no indication at all that you can. Now the reason that I'm sniping this guy, instead of just running up, is because I know the crystal lizard from the start of the level is right beyond here. I don't want to do anything that'll startle it unreasonably. Not the talisman. Not the talisman. Much easier than in the Shrine of Storms. And even if he did jump off the cliff, in this case, I'm pretty sure I could follow him safely without dying. There's the plank, and now we are officially back at the beginning of the level. And that's pretty good, because remember, there are no checkpoints or bonfires or anything like that in the game. So the best way to get a full heal is to just try again. But since there's a shortcut, it's going to be pretty easy to get back to where the boss is going to be. And I suppose I could spend some souls while I'm back in the Nexus as well. Alright, no need to dawdle around or take our time showing the trip back. But we do need to make sure that Second Chance is in play, because you might have noticed that it triggered quite a few times on my first trip through. And again, right there. It's easy to get very careless once you have a shortcut opened up, because you kind of feel like death is going to be less harshly punished. And it is, in a way. Yeah, definitely not going down to that island. That's just stupid. But I think I'm going to check out this guy. Turns out, not exactly much in the way of a trap. He's just chillin'. Has some shaman's clothes. Not relevant. Male only. It's not good armor anyways. What she's got is better. At least I'm going to tell myself that. I'm pretty sure it's true, though. Now, those treasures are pretty useful. I really like Darkmoon Grass. And it's amazing to me that the game is willing to give you so much of it for free. Then again, considering what it's putting you through at this point, I think it's well deserved. You know, I actually really like watching the playbacks at this speed. I wonder if it would be possible to actually play the game at this speed. This is like shmup speed. Actually, it's probably faster than shmup speed. You know, I would watch an entire playthrough running at 4 times the speed. Alright, we're just about back. Still having trouble with this guy, of course. You'd think I would learn my lesson that I can't hit him while he's up there, but I didn't. And I just need... Basically, I'm trying to regenerate enough MP to recast Second Chance. Crescent Falchion is nice, but it is really slow. Alright, there we go. But I really wouldn't want to leave. The boss door is right beyond there. But I really don't feel right leaving the leaving the large Sword of Moonlight out of this. I really like the large Sword of Moonlight. So, against my better judgment, I'm going to go ahead and dual wield against the boss. Alright. The boss is called Dirty Colossus. And he is both dirty and kind of a colossus. And his special move, in terms of Mega Man boss attacks, would be called Fly Shooter. As in, he shoots flies out of his arm. And if it hits you, you are coated in flies, and it acts like a poison or a plague. It drains your health, and also, I believe it slows you down a bit. Looks like I'm going a bit slower than normal, but that could just be because I finished watching myself go at 4 times speed. And the way that you cure yourself after you get hit by the flies is to jump into a fire. Yes. You heard that right. On the plus side, this guy is very weak against both fire and magic. So I can do a ton of damage to him on each run up. It's just that approaching him is a little bit difficult, because one of his hits is just about enough to take out my entire health. Got a little bit lucky there, and I'm glad I didn't have to burn the revival from Second Chance that soon. But what I really need to do is get these flies off me. It's not actually a status ailment, so all the Dark Moon grasses they gave you don't help at all. So maybe really the game is just taunting you with all that free status effect healing and full heals. Yeah, very weak against magic. But it only does slightly more than each of my individual hits. And I can throw out the hits faster. It's just getting up there can be challenging. So really, like most things, a mix of strategies is appropriate. Long range when you need it, close range when you can get there. It's just, he's so fast on shooting out those flies. Ugh. Gotta keep burning yourself. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if it's a metaphor for the entire Souls experience. Yeah, no, the game keeps covering you in flies, but it's okay. You just have to jump into the fire and burn them off. It's cool, it's fine. I tried to explain this boss fight to a coworker, and he was like, wait, you actually played this game? Why would you play a game where you get covered in flies and the only way to cure it is to jump into a fire? Isn't that a level of sadism too far? It might be. It's just, I don't know. Can't stop playing. He's not excited for Dark Souls 2. Well, a bit stuck in a little pen there, but I can at least tell that there's a fire behind me because of the lighting effects. Alright. One more hit from anything should do it. I'd like to finish him off with the large Sword of Moonlight, but I think that making the best play in the situation dictates that I zap this guy with a Soul Ray. And that does it for the Dirty Colossus. Next time, we're going to go somewhere much cleaner.